Recording in progress. We are live now, but if you're listening to it and it's not 5 o'clock on, or 5:05 on Wednesday, March 1st, then you're listening to this recorded. So that's why it says recording is live now. Welcome everybody to our current event show. I'm Jan Landy, your host, but everybody in the panel here is going to be more active than I will be today because everybody's got an opinion. And just remember, whatever you hear today is an opinion, so do your own research. Welcome everybody. Before I say anything to anybody else, I'd like to welcome you all to March 1st. And today, in case you didn't know this, back in 1892, Ulysses S. Grant created the first national park, Yellowstone. And Kevin Costner was there at the time, and that is why he's hosting the show of Yellowstone. So, in case you didn't know that, I thought I'd throw that in. So before we get into the stories I want to cover, anybody have anything they want to say?
I just wanted to say hi to everybody and introduce.
I'm new to this as of today.
Well, welcome. Odie is joining us today from Tampa, Florida, if I remember correctly, with Mr. Greg Baker. Welcome,
yes.
Welcome. Good to have you.
Well, thank you.
Your opinion is definitely requested and welcome here.
Well, all right. Well,
God help you, Jan.
Yes, I was just going to say.
Well, there you go. Well, let me tease what we're going to talk about today. One of the subjects I want to get into, and we'll talk about this, is what's up with people not clearing their voicemail. I want to know, but we'll get back to that now. But right now, one of the most frustrating things I'm finding, and I want to know about you guys, is you call people up on the phone, you get their voicemail, and the voicemail is full. So we're going to talk about that in a little while. But for right now, I want to welcome everybody. If you were on a flight, going up north, basically in Finland, in that area, Sweden, Switzerland, you were in luck because a lot of pilots were deviating from their normal route to cover and let people see the northern lights or the Aurora Borealis. And so they were doing loops. And so people were able to actually see the northern lights. And there's all sorts of pictures on the internet. So if you haven't seen it, you should. But that's one thing I've always wanted to see is the northern lights. Has anybody in this room ever seen them in real life?
Yep. Yeah, we took an Alaskan cruise, and 3 o'clock in the morning, the captain woke us all up and had us all come up on the deck at 3 o'clock in the morning, cold as hell. And it was just absolutely astounding. I couldn't believe how beautiful it was. It was just mind-boggling.
Unbelievable.
Now, the lights didn't wake you?
No, not when you're on a cruise ship, no. And they're way up high, it's not like lightning that lightens up your whole bedroom, it's just these, I don't know what it is. It's just the coolest thing I've ever seen, but
it's curtains.
Right. It's like curtains that move, sight curtains. Oh, exactly right.
Exactly.
And it sort of creeps. It goes like this and it creeps across the sky.
Did you have green or did you have red or both?
Green, mostly green.
Okay. Yeah.
And what does that mean?
Well, it means the chemical nature of the.
I think the green's from DARPA, right?
Borealis is created by sunburst, and if it has more nitrogen, then it's red. If it has more, more other elements, it's green.
All right.
Let's ask our resident expert in this field, Brian. Brian, what do you know about that?
I have no idea. I know it does with chemical compounds and the refraction in the light prism. So sort of like a rainbow, it's the reflecting of the light in the prism.
It would have been better if you just said, I have no idea. I have no fucking idea. And our resident expert, that's it. That's for now on. Whenever I have a question for the resident expert, all you have to say, I have no fucking idea. There you go. We move on.
Well, then it'd be Jan Landy.
You used to, Jan, you used to pick on Wayne for that now.
Yeah. Well, Wayne, there you go. Our resident expert. Wayne, what do you think?
I was wondering what the scenario is for that whole event to happen.
So, well, it's solar particles hitting the basically the electromagnetic sphere, protecting our atmosphere, and then it just sparkles.
And
But
only
It was
only
something
happens-
from George Lucas. I thought that was George Lucas putting that on, Industrial Light and Magic.
I don't think it happens all year round, does it?
No.
No,
I didn't think so. Yeah.
No, it has to be cold or something like that. I don't remember, but hey, Google it and you'll find out. It's almost as interesting as, okay, I got something for you guys that is really, really cool in my opinion. You know how whenever you sign up for anything, no matter what it is, a bank, a new website you go to, and they have a terms of service. And I don't know about you, but I have never read one of them. Never one. You just scroll to the bottom, and some of these places, they want to make sure that you've read it. So you have to scroll to the bottom before you can get the "I've read this thing" check mark. I guess I didn't realize what kind of liar I was until now, because I lie all the time on these forms. I just said, yeah, I read it. Well, there's a site now. It's called Terms of Service. Didn't read. It's the short version. It's a project started in June of 2012 to help fix the biggest lie on the web. Almost no one really reads these terms of agreement. And so basically the site is tosdr.org. We'll throw it in and basically you just go to this website, you type in the link of where you are on the terms of service, and it reads it for you, and it condenses it really, really quickly for you so that you know the big parts of what you need to do and what you're aware of. So there you have it. So in terms of service, the biggest lie on the internet.
Yeah, Kurt had something to say about this. I know you do, sir.
Terms of service?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't read them either.
You go by them?
Oh, don't lie to me. I know you do.
I don't read them. I go right by them.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying this site, tosdr.org, very, very cool. It'll summarize the terms of service and give you the most important parts that affect your security. So there you have it. That's a good idea.
So, Jan, you've got to read the terms of service, because if you show up at American Airlines with a bag full of M&Ms that don't have brown M&Ms in, you get upgraded to first class.
Yeah.
I have to remember that. That's okay. That's okay. By the way, I wonder if David Dansky's still on hold with American Airlines. David, are you still on hold with American Airlines? He's been on hold for over 2 hours, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm just almost 2 hours and 40 minutes.
And I hope you didn't dial the wrong number. That's all I could say,
No, it's American Airlines, but I didn't use my platinum number. I just dialed the regular number to see what would happen.
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to get some mileage credit for a flight I just took.
Don't you do that by email?
No, there's something wrong. It's Myrna. She flew to Florida with me, and there's something wrong. They wouldn't let me put it on either flight, outbound or return. So now I got to talk to her and say, what's the story? How is she listed? Is her last name different or what?
Well, you don't get credit for her miles though, do you?
No, I wanted it on her account, but it's
okay, yeah, because
LA, Miami, LA. It's a lot of miles to just throw away.
Right.
You're 100% correct. And you can go also, if you have proof when you go back to the airport, you could show them that, and at the counter they could add, I believe.
Really? It was at the counter that they told me they couldn't do anything. I went to the counter.
There you go. So call that number for American Airlines and be on hold as long as you like.
Well, actually, I was on Alaska Airlines, which is an American Airlines. So it's a whole convoluted thing.
Right.
If I had to hang up, I would. I'm just on because I can be.
There you go. It's good to be you. It's good to be you, David. Good to be you,
music, David.
Yeah, I don't want to get copyright infringement, so I'm going to mute you now. Okay. All right. There you go.
The terms of service thing reminds me, actually, kind of related. I had a teacher in high school once who gave us a pop quiz, and in the directions, you were explicitly told not to take the quiz. And if you took the quiz, you failed because you didn't read the directions. So there are about 4 of us who actually bothered to read the directions, and everybody, and it says right in there, sit here quietly and look like you're taking the test. So I got an A and 3 other people did, and everybody else failed simply because I read the directions and didn't do anything.
David, way to go. That's why you're a Meyer man.
Well, not sure I can link those together, but sure.
Well, we one of us in the room could figure it out for you. In the meantime, Fred, you were saying something?
I was just going to tell David you should definitely call the platinum desk number, because the regular number is a pain in the ass. The platinum desk people are very nice. They will take care of you.
Yeah, I know that. I just wanted to see what would happen because
You don't put yourself through the frustration. Trust me.
no rush. I just want to see how bad it really is.
Oh, it's
There you go, buddy. There you go.
terrible.
He'll be out of the sun by the time they answer.
Yeah, that's it. I told them to call in the middle of the night. That's the best. You get some really good people there, because basically most of it is farmed out now during the day, or at night they farm it out. But it's good. It's good customer service.
David,
So-
I was just going to say, Jan, excuse me. David, we'll see you on Robert's call while you're on hold on Friday. Okay.
Yeah, whatever that means. So anyway, so let's go on. The Polestar Live had this big meeting. I don't know if anybody went there, probably not. But basically, Live Nation reported in quarter four nearly $4.3 billion of revenue, 48% higher than quarter four of 2019. And the standard comparison in the wake of COVID, the counts are a beat for basically the expectation was only 3.61 billion, and they've done more than that at 4.3 billion. And then at the Polestar convention, basically they had this chat with Garth Brooks and Irving Azoff. Irving Azoff is the Eagles manager, amongst other things. Plus, I believe he owns Live Nation. And they've decided to police themselves and what's in Live Nation Fair Ticketing Act proposal, which is fans and artists insisting on reforms in ticketing. And so we'll throw the link in that. But it is crazy what's going on with ticket prices, because listen to this. Bruce Springsteen's fan, and this is from Polestar as well, Bruce Springsteen's fan are also being disappointed or even hopping mad that some tickets for his current tour are priced as high as $5,000. $5,000 a ticket for a Bruce Springsteen concert. Is that not crazy?
No, it's
Yeah, it's nuts. Jan, I did Bruce Springsteen last month. Third Thursday of last month.
What you say you did him?
Tampa. Yeah,
You did him?
I worked the gig. Yeah.
Oh, you worked the gig. You didn't do him.
Yeah.
You just worked the gig. I got it.
Right. Come on. Don't twist that around, dude. All right.
Yeah, I can't help myself. It's just in my nature. I'm like a scorpion on the back of a frog.
Yeah.
You know, we're all gonna die. We're all gonna die before we get across that pond.
Yeah. No, I worked that gig, and I tell you what, it was amazing. But there were people there who spent that $7,500 to be down there in the sweat zone, you know, down there next to the stage. And I was just, it was, I couldn't comprehend it. And, my opinion on this is that Ticketmaster and Live Nation needs to be split. Boom.
Yeah, well, I think that's going to happen. I think basically there's too many problems right now. I think that now that our senators and congressmen are looking at it because they can't go see the concerts at a reasonable price, and their staff, now it finally affects them. So now they will do something. And of course, if they do what they normally do, it'll be worse than it was before they started. So, but that's only one man's opinion, but that's why this is an opinion show.
Jan, and the unique thing about that is that's one thing that's unified both the Democrats and Republicans. Both sides.
You are right, sir.
Yeah, it seems that in China, they seem to be, they seem to agree that, that white China goes very well with almost anything, but other than that, and I mean, on your table, even if on a black tablecloth, white China goes well. So there you have it. But no, they're actually saying that China is. I mean, what do you think about this TikTok business? I mean, I just don't know what to make of it, because there are some really hot dancing girls on these and they can have all my information. It seems
TikTok should
Don't
be
let
banned from
Bo
this country.
see you looking at that, dude. I
Yeah.
mean, if you're looking at the hot girls, you're going to get a slap in the face. I know that by being with a hot girl.
Should be banned from our country is what it should be.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like it's on the way. They just banned it from all government phones. And basically, I guess, it's a matter of how much information you want to give away. But the reality is there's so much information already on every one of us on the internet that it's just available there on the dark web anyway. So, I guess this is just a simple way for them to grab our information and then market to us of what we want to hear, because basically it comes down to.
It ain't about that.
It's not about that. No,
It ain't about that.
It's getting into your phone data, knowing exactly where you're at any given time. It's getting into,
You're right, Joshua.
It's all about Big Brother, my friend. It is all about Big Brother.
It's Facebook and Microsoft and everybody wish they could be that aggressive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of interesting, but if I'm correct, doesn't the Apple phone have sandboxing, so you can't get out of that?
No.
No, it does not.
Once TikTok's applied to your phone, they have full access to your phone.
Right. Exactly.
My God, the Chinese know exactly where I am.
But you could shut it all off in your settings. You could shut all that off.
It doesn't work.
You can, but how many people are actually going to go
they just
through
bypass it.
And they can turn it all back on too.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I read the terms of agreement when I first downloaded TikTok last year, and I shut off everything, and it's never came back on. But then again, I don't do much on my phone anyway. So
and you believe him, do you?
No, I don't. I'm just saying that you do have the option to shut it all off.
So
you're
so you think
you're so geolocated.
So you think
you're shutting it off, but it's not really being turned off. They're still going around it, and they proved that.
Yeah.
Even though you think it's turned off, they're still using it.
Well, this is kind of interesting.
So
because
basically, it should be deleted then.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's what they're saying. They're going to try to ban it in the United States. Would be the first app. It's like the most popular app, but they say that it's manipulating our children. Of course, I have no children to be manipulated, but the reality is that's what they're saying. But maybe it gives me a reason to have a kid now, so I could, see them manipulated by the Chinese. I don't know.
No. Jan, I
don't even think that's funny, Jan.
Contract. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Jan, I've done government contracts, and the first thing they ask me is, you have TikTok on any of your devices? And if I say yes, they will sit there and watch me delete it and then reset my iPhone.
Wow, that's pretty intense. Well, I hope they're paying you enough for that, because to give up TikTok, I mean, if you're driving a Mercedes next year, the 2024 Mercedes E-Class will have a TikTok feature in it. I'm not making this up. This up.
Odie, you're not getting a Mercedes next year.
The new Mercedes coming out in 2024 will have a camera built into the dashboard, allowing passengers to film videos, and it's called the TikTok feature. So it's real. It's there. TikTok is everywhere.
You know what's interesting about this topic, Jan? I heard today that Amazon bought a one of those telehealth companies. So now not only do they track you through all of their ways of data, they're going to have all your health information.
Right. And they already have the prescription company, Fred.
Right.
Yeah. I ran into that today with Humana. Oh, we're using the Amazon, for your meds. And I'm like, oh, Lord. Here we
Well,
go.
there's a price you pay for everything. By the way, I just found out about this website. It's called Camel. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but if you're buying anything on Amazon, you go to Camel, and they'll tell you what's the least expensive price you can get it on Amazon. But Amazon is like ripping off their vendors right now. They're charging like up to 50%.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And you know what else? I don't know. I'm pretty sure that you could buy a gift card on Amazon. And you want to hear these statistics? So Bloomberg is reporting, oh no, actually this is CNN. Listen to this. Americans have a collective 21 billion, that's with a B, 21 billion, in unspent gift cards. That's almost 2/3 of American consumers have at least one unspent gift card. And a separate study on gift cards found that the average amount on an unused gift card last year was $175 a person, up from 116 in 2021. So my question is, who in the room has any gift cards that they haven't used?
I found a few gift cards.
$1.76.
I found a few unused gift cards that totaled up to all together was like $22.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, for Christmas, I used to give out Starbucks gift cards, to people. And it's kind of interesting because what happens is if you buy something, you have, and this is how they make their money with these gift cards. Let's just say you give somebody a $5 gift certificate for a gift card for Starbucks, and they buy something, let's just say for $4.75. It's 25 cents on the gift card. So, they throw it away. They say, well, it's worthless. But meanwhile, Starbucks keeps that 25 cents for 5 years before they could absorb it into their books. Pretty amazing, hey?
Maybe I was distracted.
What's going on here? What's happening here? What did I lose? Did I lose you guys again? Unbelievable.
No, we're here.
Oh, good. Well, listen, a little bit of bad news. The famous lighting designer, Jim Moody, he passed away this week. So I want to wish him rest in peace. If you don't know who he is, he did so many bands. I can't even begin to tell you which one, but he did the lighting for so many different people. And he just passed away for television shows, award shows, all of that. He's a legend, so may he rest in peace. Speaking of legends, are you ready for this? Paul McCartney is going to be he's doing one track with the Rolling Stones on the Rolling Stones' new upcoming album. He's playing bass on the album.
I overheard that he's actually doing a couple of them, and that actually this has been in the works for years because the Rolling Stones and the it's Paul McCartney and I can't remember the other Beatles member that's still alive, but they're all gonna be on the new Rolling Stones album. So it's Paul McCartney and the other Beatles, Ringo, is gonna be collaborating with the Rolling Stones. They're actually doing a couple of songs that they're actually gonna do, is what they're saying.
Well, that would be really cool. I think that would be pretty. I mean, he's what, 80 years old? These guys are 80 years old and they're still going strong. That's pretty impressive.
The tracks were done this week, Jan.
Wow. Very, very impressive. I think that's super impressive. So let's see what else is on. What else does anybody else want to talk about? Let's see. Well, let's talk about this. Okay. I teased it in the beginning of the show. We might as well talk about it right now. So I'm making a bunch of phone calls right now, and I'm calling people up, and I'm getting their voicemail. And then you listen to their voicemail, and why does it say? I mean, who doesn't know now that when you get to the end of a voicemail, why do that voicemail announcement from the phone company itself, adding an extra 10 seconds to the message? Because we all know that when we hear the beep, then we leave a message. But that's aside. But right now, I don't know if you guys are finding this as well, but whenever I'm calling somebody right now, 9 times out of 10, I can't leave a message because their voicemail is full.
I don't ever leave them anymore because no one has the patience to go listen. If it's not a text, they don't care. I haven't left voicemail in a couple of years because I know that no one's ever going to listen to it. They're never going to call me back.
I get voicemails all the time.
Phone, Kurt.
One at a time, boys and girls.
All right, go for it.
I usually respond with a text. 99% of the time that people call me, if I don't answer right away, they'll shoot me a text right away. And because that sometimes I can't get voice service where I'm at, but I'll get a text message. So texts from me are faster than voicemail. And if I don't recognize the number, if I'm somewhere, if I don't recognize the number, I just let it go to voicemail because I get so many scam calls. It's
Yeah, me too. Well, a lot of times though, what'll happen is I'll call somebody, I'll get their voicemail. You can't leave a message anyway. Or if I do leave a message, then they'll call me back and they'll say, "Hey, I see I missed your phone call." If they recognize the number, and I've just left an intricate voicemail telling them everything, and now I've got to repeat that. No, I didn't listen to your voicemail. But most of the time right now, the voicemail boxes are full. Brian, what's going on?
Yeah. I just don't want to talk to you. So
yeah, that's it. Hey, I mean, Wayne, do they have phones down in Australia? Do you have a system like that?
I believe we do. Do you know that I have never listened to my voicemail since I've had a mobile phone? Never listened to it, but people probably do. I do leave messages and every now and again. But I think you're right, Jan. Most people don't. Most people, well, like Kurt said, most people just if you don't get the person, you text, and not many people listen to the voicemails. I have left some silly ones, but
yeah, but you've got
I can confirm that Wayne does not listen to his voicemail because I left him a voicemail.
No. Have you ever called and listened to my outgoing message?
No, because
my outgoing message
you have so many numbers, Jan. Come on.
My outgoing message on my personal phone says that I've just won the California lottery. And that if you don't leave a message, you're not going to, I'm not going to give you any of my winnings.
Yeah.
So, but people think it's very funny. I always get when I do get a message, they always say to me how funny my message was, and they'd like part of that.
And
they'd like part of that California lottery.
Dude. Yeah.
We can enter those now. Us Australians, we can enter those.
Well, it's another way to suck money out of you.
So Jan, an interesting thing on this topic is I think it's age group and generations. Younger generations don't talk on the phone. The phone's not a talking device; it's a texting device, and they use it for other things. There's an interesting lawsuit that's coming out against New York restaurants, and I'm assuming it's going to be across the rest of the country, because the restaurants quit taking reservations by phone for dinner. And they are being sued by the Department of Justice for age discrimination because the older generation doesn't use websites to make reservations. So they have to have still have to take a reservation by phone. So I think there's a generational thing too, I was raised on voicemail. So that's what I like to use. I don't like to text people back and forth. I do it, but I don't like to.
Yeah, I would think most of the people in our industry, though, are a voicemail generation.
Yep.
And when you get a voicemail from me, it's worth listening to. I tell you that now.
Yeah.
I'm not paying you next week anyway, Jan, so you can leave all the voicemails you want.
Whoa.
Actually, Jan, I'm just getting used to the texting. I used to hate texting because I used to hate it with a passion. And because I was too slow at it and I always hit the wrong things, and I look at the message back at the end and I thought, shit, that doesn't even make any sense. Have you done that? Or
all the time?
When you had to use a keyboard to do that with a flip phone, of course, it sucked.
Oh, yeah.
But it still sucks. One of the things that I found, and I can't seem to find this, I would love to be able to find an app that would make my keyboard on my iPhone bigger. But there is nothing. I've looked. You can't get a large keyboard for your phone to do typing. And if you do voice dictation like I do, all right, blah, 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 it never comes out right. No matter how slow you speak, it never comes out right. And then you've got to edit the message. And if you're in a rush, you send it out and it's always, you realize that it sounds like you're an idiot. It sounds like you don't know the English language. language.
I have
Absolutely.
done that before. I have been on the where I got a text message from when I was still working full time. I got a text message from a female manager, and I responded by text by phone, and I'm talking in my Bluetooth car, and I sent it, not even realizing what I said, and some of the words came out not really good. She literally called me up and goes, "What the hell are you talking about?" I went back and looked at the text. I'm like, "Oops, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm texting by track." And she goes, and she's laughing her butt off. She goes, "Yeah, I kind of figured that."
Yeah,
But
you know,
yeah,
it's
you gotta
usually
look at
like,
the
"Hey,
text.
what are you wearing?" And you know, my clergyman says, "What do you mean? What am I
Yeah.
wearing?" You know, why you want it? Oh, sorry, I sent the text to the wrong person. That's all. You know, I was sending it to Greg Baker. I wanted to know what he
Bad, big. Okay.
Wow, it's getting deep in here. It's getting deep.
So the question is, are they wearing the loadout
listen,
teddies?
Now you know why. Now you know why Brian's not paying me next week. That's why. Now you know.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, if I ever do a Thai boxing match or a Muay Thai or a rugby match or a football match, oh yeah, Jan's name is going to be brought up during that broadcast.
I love it. 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 Anyway, it's
Fred, I can do.
Jan, I've solved your problem. There is large font on the phone, iPhone.
Oh, really?
There is large font. There is not a large keyboard. That's what he's saying.
No, there's a large keyboard. There's a large keyboard. You go into settings and you go under accessibility.
No, if you have an iPad, you buy this. Hold on, let me.
Right, but the iPhone has a large keyboard under the accessibility.
Well, that's really a cool chip.
You buy an iPad keyboard. That's what.
Oh, that's very good. That's still a little small for my fat fingers, you know, because that's what you say when you make a mistake. Oh, I fat fingered it. I mean, it's you know, I hope there's nobody with real fat fingers that take offense to that, but it's true. You know, that's it.
Hey, I heard
you offend these days.
Hey, I heard today's the 50th anniversary of Dark Side of the Moon. Is that true?
Yes, it is.
Wow. That is, and you know what? It's still an amazing album. It is still technically and sonically and audio quality wise a phenomenal piece of work. I mean, I think they've digitally mastered it, but it's amazing. You know, how far ahead of time.
I don't agree with the digital master, Jan. I really don't. I think the analog one speaks for itself.
Doesn't it hold the record for the most weeks at the top of the charts?
Yeah,
it was on the charts, Billboard charts forever.
Yeah.
And you know what? Fred, Nightbob, Rabbit, and I did that in 1974. We did that tour working for David Hartstone at IES.
Nice.
Wait, Dark Side of the Moon, if you line it up, someone said if you line up Dark Side of the Moon with the Wizard of Oz, it plays to the whole thing of Wizard of Oz. It like choreographs the Wizard of Oz perfectly or something like that.
Yeah,
it depends on how much psychedelics you're doing at the time, how well it's psychedelic.
I heard that in high school. Yeah,
I heard. And that's something I wanted
got
to
it
do.
right. Jan got it right. It depends on if you're dosed when you put your, Diet Coke down or your Coca-Cola down, and then all of a sudden somebody drops a Mr. Happy in it.
Yeah.
Has anyone found?
You've been there.
Yep, absolutely. One thing, Ken Porter, are you around, Ken?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, I have a question for you. People thought I was joking earlier when I was saying this before we went online, but what is this story of Woodstock for Christians? I heard that the revival drew thousands to Kentucky over 2 weeks. More than 50,000 people descended on a small campus chapel for driven by one Gen Z. And I don't quite understand it because at Woodstock, 600,000 people showed up. So what's the story? Are you familiar with this at all?
Really, it's just the Jesus Revolution movie came out with, it's Greg Laurie kind of put it together. It's kind of his history of stuff there, the DECA California and that stuff. If you remember that back in the day when you were out there. But yeah, it's kind of breakouts all over, but it's a little overstated as number of that many people. It's not really Woodstock, but it's a lot of people are coming there and doing where they're looking for baptism of the Holy Spirit in there.
Yeah. Well, actually, there's a link. The New York Times was reporting on it, so I threw that link to the chat as well.
And they actually now shut it down for in Ashbury, Kentucky. That it was like 2.5 weeks long, and they shut down because there was more outside people coming in, and the numbers, and it actually wasn't the whole town. And it got to be where they were only going to allow like the student, if you're a student age, if you want to come, you can go inside the chapel. They had speakers set up outside the chapel. I have some friends that went down there and were telling me about it, but they said it was people everywhere, and they had overflow chapels set up, or overflow wings set up for this and everything. They said it was an experience they're never going to forget. So,
right.
I mean,
so
and now it's breaking out all over.
Then, basically,
Well,
because original Woodstock, they were totally unprepared.
Well, and this was a spontaneous event. It was not planned this way. It was spontaneous.
It was not. It was literally not planned. It was just a group of students that I guess stayed after a routine chapel service that they had. Yep, and they just stayed there for a little while, and all of a sudden it just broke out and grew, and we're spreading. Also, people were coming literally from actually all over the world. They were staying to Ashbury to check it out, and now it's spread to other campuses.
But how can you do all those baptisms if you can't buy wireless mics anymore?
Now, do they have to be waterproof mics as well? Do they have to be rated IP6?
That's a Ken Porter question.
That's because the preacher doesn't go under the water. He's in the bib overall waiters, and he just drops the person in, doesn't drop the mic in the water.
There was actually a stat 2 years ago about it was like 4 people a year die in baptisms by dropping a wired mic into the pool or something. There was a real stat out there for a while.
No way.
Yeah. It's better than dropping a toaster in there, I have to say. A lot of people plug in the toaster or electric iron, that's it, it's like the Murdoch trial, only they use toasters and irons, waffle machines.
Oh, Lord. Well, you're following the Murdoch trial from Thailand?
You can't help but follow it now. It's like everywhere. It's like, what the hell is what the hell? I mean, really, this guy's as guilty as sin, man.
Well,
so it's a bad time to be named Murdoch.
It's either him. It's either him or one of the dogs did it. That's it.
Yeah.
So you talk about Ashbury. I can't think of the name of the town in South Carolina. There is more out of town media in the town than there is residents. They're going on 3 weeks now, 3.5 weeks, and restaurants quadrupled, really up the food orders and everything because there's just nothing in the town.
Supposedly the farm, there's a farm for sale there for 90 acres that make a deal. It's where the stuff was.
Is it Yasgar's farm? No, I guess not.
Oh, geez.
Hey, thanks, Greg. Thanks for understanding that joke.
I mean, even Odie reacted to that. I mean, my goodness.
Well, we need to hear from Odie more often. That's it, Odie.
Oh, I just I love hearing about you guys. I mean, Greg does what he does, and
yeah,
I can see it. I can see it now. I see you guys have the same vocal cadence. I love it. Odie, let me hear you say yeah. Let me just hear you say that once.
Yeah.
Say it once, like. Okay.
Yeah. Just say yeah. That's it.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys, you could be twins. You guys could be twins. I love it.
Well, we're life mates, just like you and Bo.
That's very, very good. That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Hey, Greg.
Hey, so anyway,
Greg,
you know.
Wait
Ken,
a minute.
Ken.
Are you working this weekend down there at St. Pete IndyCar race?
No, I'm not, because there's a very egotistical sound provider here that even though I have a card, he doesn't want to hire me.
Really? Is the name of the company Opinion Sound? That's it, because everything here is an opinion.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's going to be a good gig, though. Really, it's 14 delayed towers, and it's going to be incredible. And so they're going to do a good job, and they're good people. So,
Now this is a race, or are they going to have music as well?
No, it's an indie race.
So why do they need so much? Why do they need so much PA if it's an indie race? The cars are so loud as it is. Are they amplifying the car sounds?
No. It's commentators all the way across. It's Venus all the way around.
It's street
People
racing.
listen to that stuff.
Yeah,
It's street racing, not track racing, right?
well, it's IndyCar racing on a street. Yeah, it's like Monaco with Indy cars, So
Now, the last time I went to a NASCAR race, basically everybody had a favorite car, and they were listening to the conversations between that car and their control center.
It's different. It's different from NASCAR, Jan, because NASCAR, all you do is turn left. Although there's a lot involved, and I don't want to disrespect. I mean, NASCAR is huge in the South, but this is left, right, left, right, left, right. Go down the airport runway, turn around, do a hairpin, come back around, left, right, left, right, left, right, and
like what they're going to do.
Now,
in
if
Vegas.
you were in, get Fred.
Yes, exactly.
Like what they're going to do in Vegas.
Yeah. Well, Formula One is coming to Vegas, and you know how much it's going to cost, Jan, for you to get a hotel room at Resorts World for the Formula One in Vegas.
Do you know something about my lifestyle that I don't know?
I was going to say, hopefully, I already rented out that house for about 50 a week.
You have no idea what he knows.
It's
I live with
56.
this man, and I just absorb things.
Yeah, we are not paying $56,000 a night.
No, we are not.
56,000 a night?
Yes.
Is that in real US dollars, or is that monopoly money?
Yeah. No, it's real. And that's at Resorts World, right there.
Wow.
Right there on the strip.
To quote Monopoly, bank error not in your favor, man. Bank error not in your favor.
No shit. Excuse my language. Oh, look at him. Yeah. Look at Wade. He's got his Monopoly up.
Yeah, he's got his Monopoly. He's got his Cheerio, man. He's full. He's got it all, man. He's like an American at heart. That's it. It's like living in Australia.
Fred, are you going to cover it?
No, I don't. I'm not working that gig. I'm going to Vegas this weekend though to do some basketball.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, listen.
So do you work NBC, or who do you work for?
I don't know who I'm working for this weekend. It's probably ESPN. I'm going to guess. I don't know. I just show up.
Yeah.
NBC.
You got me doing the math, Greg. 56,000 a night. 56,000 a night. So let's see.
56,000 a night. You can. Tina. Call Tina. She'll.
I wouldn't even have to sell my house anymore. I would just rent it out for 10 days, and that would be more than the house is worth. And then I could just burn it to the. No, I couldn't say that. We're being live. I would never do something like that. Are you kidding? It's like.
Yeah, all I'm saying is.
Why would anyone want to stay at Resorts World? Yeah, if it's not on the track. The track doesn't go near the Resorts World.
Well, okay. Well, maybe I'm not on Resorts World. It's 56,000, Tina. I saw it.
No,
Yeah,
I've
what's
seen a lot of it.
$56,000 amongst friends? You know, nothing. You know.
Yeah. I mean, yes, yeah. We're talking to a group of whales here, right? You know.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah.
Well, listen to this, and if not, maybe you'll put it on a credit card.
Australia, you know, with a suitcase full of money.
Yeah. Listen to this. Credit card balances have increased by $61 billion this year to reach a record $986 billion, surpassing the pre-pandemic high of $927 billion. Mortgage balances rose to $11.92 trillion, auto balances to $1.55 trillion, and student loan balances up to $160 trillion. The New York Federal Reserve Bank stated in a quarterly report. I mean, so America's debt is really getting up there as individual debt. So you know, if you're going to Vegas, bring your credit card. You know, that's all I could say. You know, bring your credit card. You know,
I don't gamble.
There you have it. Yeah. Well, gambling, you know, we love it when you gamble. I mean, but as far as I'm concerned, the more gambling, the less state income tax we have. That's it. You know, so keep it up. Yeah, that's it.
So, Jan, do you have your email access to your email right now?
Yes.
I just sent you an email, a picture of Newcomb Ranch, of the snow.
Oh, wow. Very, very good.
Yeah, I was going
to have it so you could share it on your computer.
Well, no, it's on my phone.
Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah. I was.
Hold on. Let me get to it. So, explain to everybody who is in the warm area like myself what that actually means. Why are you sending a picture like that?
It's the mountains, about 30 miles from my house, up in the mountains, and they got the snows up to the roof. And they rarely get more than a foot of snow up there, usually in the wintertime. But it's just a really, a shot that doesn't happen too often. And Newcomb Ranch is actually famous.
Let me see if I could share my screen here. Give me a second. Let's see if I could do that really fast.
Jan,
I got to get my notes out of the way. My notes are in the way. Share the screen, and here we go. Can you see it?
Does anybody know the history of Newcomb Ranch? There you go.
Let me see if I can make.
Hi, Cheryl.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Is that crazy?
That is absolutely nuts. This is California, ladies and gentlemen, and this is not something that normally sees any snow like that.
Right.
I mean, look at that roof.
This is just
it's like
outside
the roof
of
is
Los
going to cave in
Angeles.
if they don't get rid of it.
Yep.
Wow, that is crazy. That is absolutely crazy.
It's a gorgeous picture, though.
Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Now I got to figure out how to stop sharing my screen. Okay, great. Stop sharing.
Do any of you guys know the history of Newcomb Ranch? Because I do not. I know it's historically, something. I don't know.
Well, Google it. Somebody will Google it while I fill in for time here.
Sounds like a place Putin would go for vacation.
Yeah.
Is it named after the governor of California?
No, that's Newsom. Yeah. I mean, worthless. I mean, Newsom. Yeah.
Would you be worried about the roof?
He could be your next president. Not that I'm saying anything. Anyway, speaking of precedent,
Isn't he the grandson of Nancy Pelosi?
Could be.
Newsom is his niece or nephew. He's Pelosi's nephew. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, moving right along. So speaking of California, up by Sacramento, Thunder Valley Casino Resort opened, and I was talking about it last week, but I didn't have a complete list of all the acts, which I'm saying that this year we're going to really be busy as an industry, of a touring industry. The venue, it's $100 million entertainment center up by Sacramento, Thunder Valley Casino. And actually, I got a call from a guy the other day who happens to have, he's looking for some gear, and he happened to be the guy, the provider of gear for this venue. But listen to this. The Eagles, Bruno Mars, Santana, Gabriel Iglesias, if you don't know who he is, he's called Fluffy, Sammy Hagar and Friends, Charlie Wilson, Ex Un Hoi Nang, which I believe is a Vietnam guy who's very big, Dirty Heads, The Beach Boys, Jeff Dunham, Anila Johnson, Kevin James, Kansas, with Blue Oyster Cult. Wow, Blue Oyster Cult. I didn't even know they were still around. Holy moly. Oh, it's April Fool's. I don't know. April 1st, Boys to Men, Michael Carbano, An Evening with Third Eye Blind, Vivian Chow, Brian Adams, Train, Black Crows, Sarah Silverman, John Fogerty, Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, Eraserhead, REO, Kid Rock, wow, Ringo Starr, Johnny Mathis.
How many stages are you talking about?
Is this their summer schedule?
This is through the summer. These are all the shows. They have Styx with Starship is playing, Buddy Guy. Hey, Wayne, the Australian Pink Floyd show is coming in. And then Kenny Loggins with Richard Marx. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, very good.
But Wayne, have you seen the Australian Pink Floyd show?
No, I haven't, but I do believe it's actually wandered through these parts.
They played Nashville a few years ago. It was pretty good. It was
hanging out here a lot. Oh no, I saw them about 2 months ago. They were excellent.
Very there, but instead of having the flying pig, they had the blow up kangaroo.
Yes.
Instead of prison, they had the shape of Australia.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I've heard it's very good. The only things I've heard, and I'm pretty sure it came through here, but I'm not sure if it's the same one but I'm pretty sure it was the same.
So the band members get along, I assume, better than the original Pink Floyd, right?
Oh, yeah.
One would hope.
Do you see that issue going on between the two band members?
Didn't that go on for a long time? I didn't follow it, but didn't that go on? That's why they ran two shows running around the world.
Well, a couple of weeks ago, it was like on Twitter, there was a battle between Gilmore accused Waters of being anti-Semitic, Putin-loving, misogynistic. There's a whole list of things, hater there. And it was just a mess.
It's good to be friends. That's all I could say. It's good to be friends. Boy, those guys really, for years and years and years, they were just, two peas in a pod. And then look how they have separated, and, not seeing things eye to eye or belly to belly or anything like that, man. I can't believe it. And those guys were so talented together. I mean, they made such phenomenal music. Oh, well. What could I say?
It's a bit of time, really, at the end of the day. You think they just do their own thing and wander along.
Yep. So anyway, I got a couple of questions for you guys before I open it up to whatever anybody else wants to go, although we're already talking about everything else. Word oranges. Do you know what the word basket case means? If you say somebody's a basket case, you know what it means?
Means they're drunk.
Well, no, it means they're crazy. They're a basket case. They're a basket case. That is what it is here in America. But in Australia, it's you're drunk if you're a basket case.
Well, you can be a basket case and be inebriated, or you can be, or losing, or basket case. Yeah, basket case usually means drunk.
Anybody know where that comes from? Anybody? Going once, twice? It came from World War I, where people were getting blown up and they were body parts in a basket, and it turns out that eventually went into a medical term, people being crazy, and I can understand why. The other thing is listen to this, the word moron. Do you know where that came from? It's the Greek word for foolish, and it then also that ended up for a while being a medical term for a disability. You became a moron. So that's it. I always like the political joke of that, what's the difference? I think it was a Smothers Brothers joke where we were talking about how that the politicians, are all morons, and the reason they were called morons because poorer people would wear less clothes, so they would be the less-ons, and the richer people would wear more, so they would be the morons. And that's the Smothers Brothers. That was Tommy Smothers, if I remember correctly.
Do you know the origin of the expression "on the ball"?
No.
So, the turn of the century, the railroads were having a lot of trouble with conductors having their own watches, and they wouldn't all be in agreement, and they'd run at slightly different speeds, and trains kept hitting each other because it was all about being at a certain place at a certain time and maintaining a certain speed to be able to share the rails. So the National Railroad Association hired the Ball Pocket Watch Company to make a standardized pocket watch for all of the train conductors to use. And once you had that, you were on the ball.
Sounds like we need to call them again, straighten out this mess with the trains.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, especially all over the world. I mean, it's crazy what's going on with the trains.
Yeah, big accident.
I really feel sorry for those people that live in Ohio right now. I feel really bad for those people.
The expression I really want to learn the origin of is shit-eating grin.
Well, that's something we'll wait for next week. It's the perfect end of the show. I love it. So next week, tune in and we'll find out where that expression shit-eating grin came from. And, if you have any ideas, send us an email. Just remember, everything you heard today is an opinion. And so with that in mind, we're going to keep talking off the air. You're more than welcome to join us. Just DM me from anywhere you're watching the show. And we will be more than happy to give you an invitation to join the panel. Just remember, everything you heard today is an opinion, and so do your own research. And before I say goodbye, is there anything that anybody else wants to say to the people that have been listening for the last 50 minutes and change?
Have a good week, all.
That's good. Remember, you make it happen. Make it happen. Have a great week. Stay safe and healthy. And we will see you again next week here on our current event show. So bring a smile and bring your opinion. Talk to you then. You make it happen. And we are off the air. If I can figure out how to stop this. There you go. We're off the air.